Live from Detroit, it's Coffee and Chocolate.
All right, guys, there. Little video glitch. I'm going to have to fix some of this stuff here. Anyway, welcome back. It's been a while since we've been here live streaming. We have actually been on vacation in the Bahamas, the wonderful island of Eczema. All I can say is if you have the means, I highly recommend going. It is a fantastic place. Please definitely check it out. It's always important to take some time off to recharge. I'm so glad that we did. I'd left off Vampire the Masquerade. It's actually kind of funny. I played a text adventure game, one of the VtM companion universes. This one was in the Werewolf the Apocalypse. I played a text adventure called The Book of Hungry Names while I was on vacation, just because it's I kind of double dip as reading when I do that. And it was good. It was very involved, and I can tell that whoever wrote it spent a lot of time and effort making sure it's true to the universe. I can't say that the characters were all that... Like, there were four werewolves that you were allied with in that game. Two of them I thought were fantastic, a guy named Elton and a woman named Nin, who was apparently born as a wolf but was also a werewolf, and so converted into being, an ordinary, had the opportunity to start as a wolf but also become a human. So she was an interesting character. And the other characters just weren't, I don't know, it definitely seemed like the author had an axe to grind. And maybe that's part of the universe of being in the werewolf, whereas the vampires seem to be the upper class, the werewolves are clearly the lower class, and they come with that mindset, I guess. It didn't quite... Like, the story was fantastic. I can't say that the characters that were inhabiting it met that same level of high standard, which is a pity, because clearly the guy who wrote it knows how to write. Maybe sometimes things just don't hit the way you want them to. Maybe I'm just a jerk. Hard to say. Anyway, let's get back to it. I actually can't fully recall where we ended up here, but I guess we'll find out. Let's just hit continue. I know that we were playing this woman, the one who was depicted on the main screen, who was searching through New York for her, basically for the vampire, her sire, the vampire that created her, made her into a vampire, because if she doesn't, the local vampire police are just gonna kill her, because apparently he's wanted. So we'll see where we left off. The Lifeline, Kaiser, main quest. Every second near Kaiser makes me want to punch a wall, but still his little cloak and dagger act might be what we need to break into the circulatory system. All right. Let's just check the journal logbook. I'm just going to go back through real quick where we left off at the beginning. What was I thinking? Peak naivete. Going solo to find my sire wasn't a solid idea. Yeah, that's where it's at. Ah, yes, the Elysium. That's the neutral ground that all the vampires... Like Vampire Congress, basically. Caretakers, bam, hunters. Yes, there's human hunters who are looking for vampires and looking to wipe them out. Padraic, that's her ally. Skylar, a woman who was also another ally of hers. D'Angelo's another. I guess he's a vampire. I thought maybe he was a human at first, but I guess he's one of us. Doesn't seem like it. Hideout got an upgrade this time. Okay. The Serpent, the System, Kaiser. So Reynard, of course. Kaiser. Oh, that's right. Kaiser was kind of like this, I don't know, mafia guy who apparently was willing to help for a price. So he's like, Kaiser's a total scumbag. With the help of his network, we might score big raiding the circulatory system. All right. Let's do this. Padraic and I spent a solid 5 minutes just gazing up at the building we're about to infiltrate. Our necks craned. Completely silent. Killing me psyched, I guess. That's one massive fucking building if I've ever seen one.
Indeed. It might complicate our plan, as vague as that is.
It's probably packed with high-tech security and the usual batch of guards lurking around every corner.
Yet there are also plenty of empty spots we could use to lay low.
Look at you, picking up the tricks of the trade. Let's just not sit around. Time's running out. The interior of the Circulatory System branch is artfully incognito, masquerading as a budget-friendly medical clinic. It's the perfect cover. Under the radar, ignored by the upper classes and the authorities, and with a constant, justifiable stream of visitors at all hours, even the ungodly ones. Like right now, for instance. And here I am, ready to dive into the fray. Ready? Padraic nods and right in front of my eyes undergoes a profound transformation. His whole demeanor morphs into something snooty, refined, and disdainful of everything. His usual slouch disappears, replaced by a straightened back, lifted chin, and squared shoulders. He could pass for some stuck-up young heir from a wealthy family if it weren't for his tacky shirt and flashy rings tucked away in his pockets. Mr. Tiburon's very own stooge. He strides forward, oozing confidence and poise, while I fold myself into his shadow and become practically invisible. The moment we step into the foyer, all eyes are on us, or, more accurately, on Padraic. A dashing young concierge, with a plastered-on smile, hurries to greet us. Padraic makes a show of coldly refusing to reciprocate his warm and polite greetings, immediately asserting himself as a domineering and difficult client. In the meantime, I keep quiet behind his back, my face impassive and supremely bored. If I had gum, I'd be blowing bubbles like it's nobody's business. As planned, we get separated. Padraic leaves with the concierge to talk about business. I'm paired up with another employee, a young woman named Nima, who, at Padraic's firm request, is tasked with showing me around the labs, ASAP. She tries to smile at me, but my stony face wins out in the battle of expressions. "Shall we go, Mum?" I simply shrug and nod, and we make our way to the elevators. The moment we step into the labs, my persona flips. I make sure that my tour guide sees my eyes widen, and the smile that almost splits my face in half. One look at her back in the foyer told me all I needed to know about this Nima and how to manipulate her. She loves her job and takes an enormous amount of pride in it, and nothing would make her happier than to share every single detail about it. All she needs is a willing ear. Well, here I am, both ears wide open. I bombard her with questions, and she happily obliges, growing more and more animated with each answer. But the more she talks, the more distracted she becomes. She shows me around many, for my purposes, useless rooms, and then I feel something small scuttle between my boots. I glance down. A mouse? Really? Is this the level of cleanliness we're dealing with here? This little bloodthirsty critter probably chews on blood bags for fun. About 15 minutes later, we enter a large laboratory on the other side, in which I spy incomprehensible glass gadgets, several rows of coolers with blood, and a PC connected to the local intranet. Perfect. Silence of death. Oh, do it for me. Let's do this one. Let's see if it works. I turn to Nima with a dazzling smile, letting the warm tendrils of my charming persona extend toward her and wrap her in a warm embrace. She looks at us puzzled for a moment before visibly melting. Her expression goes all mushy, eyes half-lidded, pupils blown wide against the brown backdrop of her irises. I step closer, lowering my voice to a seductive purr as I get right up into her blushing face. Your work here is fascinating, but I bet you've got some gems you haven't shown me yet. How about you fetch one of your favorite projects for me to check out? I'd love to sample the goods. Yes, Mum. Right away, Mum. Oh, no need to rush, darling. Take your time. She scurries off, stealing glances at me over her shoulder, and I make sure to keep my eyes trained on her until she disappears behind a wall. That's my cue. I get to the PC. It's password protected, of course. Hacking isn't exactly my forte, but I'm good at predicting mortal laziness. The password's on a post-it stuck to a notebook on the desk. I access the PC and hastily make a copy of the database, glancing up from time to time while my free hand tries to get inside the computer case. I manage to extract the portable hard drive and slip it into my belt bag just seconds before Nima returns. I have it here, Mum. The project you requested. I smile at her, keeping my radiance firmly fixed onto her like a vice. Yes, of course. Thank you for humoring me. Yes, ma'am. She launches into a lengthy explanation of the device she brought, but I tune out most of it, nodding and making the occasional "oh" and "ah" is enough to keep her going, all while subtly guiding her toward the foyer. Once we reach the exit, I blink in mock surprise and offer her a smile tinged with fake regret. Oh, it seems like our little tour is over. Well, thank you for showing me around. She furrows her brow, clearly a bit confused about how we ended up here, but she smiles brightly nonetheless. It was my pleasure, Mum. I wait for what feels like forever before Padraic sleeps into the foyer, followed closely by the concierge, who's practically tripping over himself to keep up. He's drowning Padraic in apologies and desperate pleas for future meetings, his face going from flushed to pale as a ghost. Meanwhile, Padraic's pulling off the whole disappointed VIP act like a pro, effortlessly brushing off apologies and offers for better deals. It's the performance of a lifetime, or maybe several. I can barely hold back my laughter, especially when he heads for the door without a second glance, snapping his fingers at me to follow. I manage to keep up my obedient facade as we leave the circulatory system and hop into Padraic's car. It's unclear if they notice someone making off with their precious data, but the circulatory system doesn't immediately come after us, at least. Padraic's clearly geared up for a pursuit, the way he's maneuvering through the streets, pedal to the metal, eyes flicking around like a paranoid squirrel on the lookout for a tail. Nitro. I don't think these matter so much, but I feel like... Slow down. Not like I'm scared of a speeding ticket or anything, but you could ease up on the gas. No one's tailing us, as far as I can see. He looks genuinely let down by my shockingly sensible suggestion, to the point where I regret letting it out. Zooming through the streets is kind of a rush. He eases off the accelerator, blending into traffic as we head back toward Brooklyn. I'm guessing your part of the caper went smoothly. Smooth as silk. Had a bit of fun in the lab downstairs, but hey, got what I came for, without breaking a sweat. Quite an adventurous night, I see. I toss my head back and laugh, catching his genuine smile out of the corner of my eye. You could say that. And you? Enjoyed going all snobby rich kid on that poor concierge? He shrugs, all casual-like.
I have sympathy. I have little sympathy for Ventru ghouls. As far as I'm concerned, they signed up for the job and all of its perks.
Oh, ice cold, man. Impressive, too. Stick around me a little longer and I'll make a con artist out of you just yet.
Who's to say I'm not one already?
I can't help but burst into laughter again, straight from the depths of my shriveled heart. Completely genuine. Full of bite. Time to dive into this ocean of data and pray our shark picks up the scent of something that'll make the whole heist worth it. Well, I don't think we have anything else to do here. Unlike some of the earlier situations, we actually had the opportunity to just, to actually jump ahead, to choose between different paths. I guess this one we're kind of locked in, so whatever. We'll just continue. Kaiser keeps us hanging at the meetup point like it's a personal joke, clearly his way of saying, fuck you. His massive limo finally rolls up and we're hurried inside by the same lanky guy as before. The door slams shut behind us with a resounding thud. Padraic and I barely get a moment to settle before Kaiser impatiently extends his hand, signaling for me to hand over the stolen hard drive. I'm tempted to give him a high five first, but I figure he might toss me out the window or something. He plugs the drive into one of his many laptops and silently sifts through the data. A satisfied grin spreads across his grotesque face. Must have hit the jackpot with some serious dirt on the city's big shots. Maybe even beyond that. Suddenly, he lets out a long, sharp whistle, his hairless eyebrows shooting skyward.
They got a shit ton in Cassell.
A shit ton, huh? My gut churns. Lay it on me.
Are you sure you want to dig into this? Because where I'm from sitting, he's royally fucked.
I swallow nervously, but there's no hesitation in my voice. Yeah, hit me with it.
Oh, but with pleasure.
He shows us a scan of a report from the FBI's Special Affairs Division. The file, apparently intercepted by an unnamed Circulatory System associate, is chock full of Reynard. Photos, videos, you name it.
And according to this rap sheet here,
he pulls up another file, the system's examination of conscience, with Reynard's name.
He's balls deep in every kind of shady deal you can think of. Look at this. Selling rare blood, mortal trafficking, nothing new there. Breaching the masquerade, yada, yada, yada. Corroborating with the SAD. Like hell. Diablerie? Now that's horseshit.
I can feel Padraic's gaze on me, but I refuse to meet it in fear that he might actually read something from my eyes. I'm no saint, okay? Most of that stuff kind of rings a bell. A mere, a week ago, I was the one pulling the strings beyond the merchandise transfers through my dark web channels. Not that I always knew what was being shuffled around. I'm not even sure how much I would have cared if I'd known. I've dabbled in some nasty shit both before and after my embrace.
See, it's him mixing in shady red market deals and being sloppy enough to get on the SAD's radar that's got Cassell plastered all over the Circulatory System's dartboard. Is there anything else worth mentioning? Fuck yeah, there is. Arms trade.
The fuck? Well, it's actually news to me. Well, it's not unheard of, kindred dipping their toes into selling guns.
Is that an issue? Gun running? Please. This whole fucking country stands on semi-automatic legs. The problem is whom he's trading with. But that doesn't even matter. No way that dumb fuck alone could. How do they put it? Coordinate a weapon deal with a high-profile mortal, dickhead. And he stops talking, the asshole. I count to 10 and ask. Does it say who the mortal is? Kaiser shrugs, still looking at the pages. Nope. Rest is redacted. Must be some important asshole, or dangerous one. Or they have no idea. Oh, and speaking of, they've got Cassell mixed up with that fucking Hudson witch. She's right up there in the circulatory system's hit list, too. I guess cunts of a feather fucked together. Okay, that was funny. Not much dirt on her, though. Not that I don't already know, at least. Vitae freezes in my veins. I exchange bleed looks with Padraic, remembering Sensaric's words about Reynard getting cockier and his new powerful patron, the self-appointed queen of the Hudson River. Maybe it's a good idea to wheedle some more info about her out of Kaiser. Hershey's one touch. Vritra. I know that. Did she say Vritra? I'm actually going to look back here just to make sure I don't step in something here. Who again? Who's that? Never heard of her. Padraic shoots me a warning look, which frankly I don't understand. Intel is power, my guy. Well, of course you wouldn't know. You ravens don't exactly deal in brains, do you? I bare my fangs at him and hiss, a split second from ripping out his vile tongue, but Padraic's hand on my shoulder keeps me in check. How about you tell me about Vritra, and I'll forget to bash your head in. Feisty. I hate it. But you've earned it. No one knows jack shit about her, not even me. All I can say is Vritra is one twisted bitch. His whisper she's tangled with the Black Hand. Zero proof of that, though. And believe me, I'd know if there was any. Padraic visibly twitches and gets busy spinning his ring. The Black Hand? You mean the Sabbat? Aren't they extinct on the East Coast? They were driven out of New York 2 decades ago. Doesn't mean they're extinct. Conroy, as always, seems to know too damn much, but yeah, bingo. Still, I don't buy that she's with him. Doesn't fit her style of playing the big game. Care to elaborate on that? He sighs as if my questions cause him agony, but then he starts talking, maybe because he actually wants to talk but can't. Because he's got a reputation to uphold. Dunno, man. Is that a Nosferatu thing or something? D'Angelo's also chatty as hell. About a year and a half back, Vritra just pops up in New York overnight, takes over the whole fucking Hudson and half of Staten Island, and then poof, vanishes off the grid. What do you mean? I thought she'd been keeping the city in check the whole time. Oh, she has. She's been lying pretty fucking low for a kindred. Annihilating anyone trying to parlay or even step into her turf. She's brutal. If Cassell's really in cahoots with her and he keeps his head, fuck, that's no small feat. The bigwigs probably want him just for pulling that off. But don't get it twisted. Whatever shit they're spinning, it ain't really Cassell's plan. I furrow my brows. It's an angle I haven't even thought about. And by the look of sheer panic flashing over Padraic's face, neither is he. Nobody knows what Vritra's game is, which is exactly why every fucker and their sire in this town wants her gone. Volatility is a bitch for keeping order here in the big fucking apple. From what I've seen, that's pretty much the typical kindred push and pull in big cities. Seems to me like she's just the other side of the same coin, but with one non-negotiable rule. Padraic butts in, his voice firm and cold. Yes. Don't fuck with Vritra. Kaiser shrugs, annoyed, indicating he's done. His sharp eyes go back to looking through the SAD's file on Reynard. Ask directly. Bait him. Deploy subterfuge. I wonder if this is one of the...
tripped up in these games sometimes. I'm like, well, how should I play this one here? Like, is this going to work against me if I pick the wrong one, or is it just doesn't really matter? Subterfuge. I crane my head and not so subtly read over Kaiser's shoulders. The name Addison Payne is peppered throughout this section of the document. Addison Payne, Addison Payne. Hey, isn't he the old fart in a wheelchair from the Camarilla? The one and only paraplegic blue blood cunt. This report makes certain conjectures about him. Oh? What kind? These ain't from the SAD file. They're straight from the circulatory system based on the shit they found in their records. There's been talk about Payne and where he really stands, all because he apparently was buying spiked blood from Cassell. Payne? Buying from Cassell? Why would he do that? Even true of his position, there's no need to stoop so low. Seems like about a month or so ago, some Ventru began pushing to cut off Payne's access to his circulatory system privileges. Crafty little shits, I'll give him that. What's that supposed to mean? Kaiser grins at him. Heh. Can you really trust a man who uses someone else's voice to speak? Let that sink in, Conroy. What's that supposed to mean? Kaiser just ignores me, slams the laptop shut, and raps on the glass at the driver. The limo swerves hard to the right and comes to a full screeching halt. The door next to me pops open. That's all I got. Now take a hint and fuck off. Hold up, I want a copy of that file. Kaiser stares at me like I've grown a second head, then bursts out laughing. Sounds like the croak of a dying frog. Hey, you a fucking comedian. Now get the hell out or I'll throw you out myself. Were we still mortal after all the revelations of tonight, Padraic and I would probably hunker down in the dim corner of a bar drinking our, well, mine mostly, sorrows away and unraveling the tangled skein of our findings. Since we can't stomach alcohol, we just wander around in silence for a while until we settle on a tiny little beach hidden beneath a naked winter tree. I think we needed a picture of that here. Not downtown, but whatever. There. Well, I'd like to say that we talk, but it's more like a floodgate bursting within me, unleashing a tidal wave of pent-up frustrations, and Padraic just quietly lets me rant, slowly spinning his ring, and nodding from time to time. The sheer number of times Raynard pops up in these SAD files is pretty fucking concerning, not only because of the actual shit he's pulled, but because he's been so damn sloppy about it. They have so much stuff on him, stuff that could have easily been avoided if he just, I don't know, put a bit of thought into his actions and kept me in the loop, maybe? Like, it's no coincidence there's nothing specific about me in the file. I clean up after myself thoroughly, I think. Regular people wouldn't find shit. And Raynard left so much trail behind him, I'm surprised he's not in some kindred Guantanamo by now. They could have bagged him without breaking a sweat. Padraic gives a skeptical hum, leaning forward and examining his ring. And yet they haven't. Perhaps that speaks volumes about your sire's ability to dodge bullets, even deep in hostile trenches. I snort inelegantly. Yeah, I guess. He's Ravnos, after all. There's a few beats of silence before Padraic speaks up again. Any idea why Reynard might be dealing in arms with a mortal? I sigh, feeling the air expand my lungs more than humanly possible, and shake my head. Honestly, Padraic, I feel like I don't know shit anymore. Reynard was never particularly precious toward mortals, so I thought we'd end up wrangling some eventually, but now I don't know. Plus, arms dealing, that's so, I don't know, it's not our style. We're Ravnos. We're tricksters. We're con artists. We're not the warlords. I can't recall dealing with a single mortal since my embrace almost 2 years ago. If Reynard was peddling something, I'd expect it to be fake shit, decoys, or whatever. But guns? Well, it just doesn't make any sense. Padraic gives that deliberate cough of his, the prelude to dropping some unsettling truth. I hate to be the bearer of harsh truths, but I get the feeling you never truly knew your sire. A couple of nights ago I would have flipped out at that, but now I collect a handful of gravel from the ground and toss it, bit by bit, into a puddle of melting snow. So many lies. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't be surprised, should I? He's a scoundrel. We're all scoundrels. It's not like he taught me everything I know. I've always had a knack for trouble myself, but we spent a hell of a lot of time together. There's no honor among thieves, but damn. I thought there was some honesty, at least. You know, you shouldn't be blaming yourself for his dishonesty. It is quite literally not your fault. Nobody can go through this ordeal expecting to be crossed at every given moment, especially by those we trust. That'd be a pretty miserable existence, don't you think? I'm not equipped to unpack all of that right now, sorry. Besides, I have no cash on me for this therapy session you're pushing for, Dr. Conroy. His smile is a little wry, but not hostile. You know, thinking about it, we've been hunting down my sire for 4 nights, and I realize I know jack shit about yours. Care to share a bit in the spirit of this painfully awkward moment? He keeps quiet. Frankly, I can't tell you much about them because I don't know myself. What do you mean? I simply don't know who embraced me. He clears his throat and hesitates while I fight the urge to dig deeper. It's a faint memory now, but I remembered almost dying toward the ends of World War II, somewhere on the Western Front, I think, and then I remember crawling out of a pile of corpses the next night. That's all. I assume I was embraced by a fellow soldier, but there's no way to confirm. Padraic, I'm so sorry. I pat him awkwardly on the shoulder, and he nods, looking not at me, but at his lucky ring. I've come to terms with it, but I appreciate the sentiment. We sit in silence a bit longer. There aren't many people around, but the city still feels alive, bustling, even at 3 a.m. in late December. The air between us is a little tense. Probably shouldn't have prodded about his sire, but, well, I'm me. I scramble for a new topic and remember we haven't finished discussing our latest scoop from the Circulatory System's database. So, what I can't wrap my head around is why someone like Payne, a big-shot Ventrue, would go to such lengths to avoid buying blood through the company he owns. Is he trying to back out, tank the stock on purpose, or what? Or maybe he's plotting to start his own gig. Hard to see how with all the Ventrue red tape, but maybe? Could he be setting up Reynard as his go-to supplier, or is that stretching it too much? Indeed, that does seem like a stretch. It's an audacious, almost disrespectful move, not really Payne's way of doing things, especially when he's trying to usurp Panhard. But why else would he do that? The file did say he was buying spiked blood from Reynard. That is oddly specific. Maybe that particular type wasn't available through the circulatory system. Well, I mean, all blood bags are spiked. That's the only way they stay edible. One of the reasons the resident Duskborn alchemist had so much shit to do all the time in our gang. Padraic hums thoughtfully, slowly spinning his ring. Well, I am stumped. But hopefully we can find a way to use that information to your advantage when we face the council. What do you mean, like exposing Payne as a damn fraud in front of everyone? Damn, Conroy, that's some serious badassery for you. It'd be badassery if we had any evidence of these suspicions, which unfortunately we do not. I deflate a little, licking my tongue. Yeah, I guess that's an obstacle. And how does Vritra fit into all of this, the ever-elusive mistress of the Hudson? Think we could dangle her as bait before the council? Padraic stills and stiffens, spinning the dice ring as fast as his hands allow. Fuck, I forgot he's irrationally terrified of her. I'm grasping at straws, I know, but everyone's freaked out by her. I'm not saying Reynard usually shies away from tough cases, but there's so many easier targets to scam. It's also fucked up. I don't get any of it. I don't understand either. He so doesn't want to talk about her. Fine. I'll let him off the hook this time. The weight of tonight's events is starting to crush me, and maintaining this upbeat mask is draining.
Thankfully, this time it's Padraic who breaks the awkward silence. Tonight marks the last night in the grace period Kadir gave you. All our leads have dried up. It is unlikely we would find anything else of use anyway. I think we have enough circumstantial proof to clear your name in the eyes of the council. We could trade it for your freedom. You mean for a longer leash? They won't clear me unless I hand over Reynard, and we both know it. Sure, we have some solid clues, but they're just that. The way the Camarilla treated me. Well, I'm not exactly optimistic about returning empty-handed. Best case scenario, they order me to stay in the city and give me another impossible task. Worst case, Kadir just takes my head clean off my shoulders. And I don't even know where that leaves you. Technically, you were supposed to just keep an eye on me, but... I gesture vaguely, and Padraic sighs, defeated. Yeah. He squints at the starless sky. There's still time until sunrise, but I doubt we'll find anyone at Elysium tonight. He gives me a careful once-over, doubt and pity clear as stars in his eyes. Do you have a safe place to stay the day? You're welcome at my haven if needed. The couch should still be there, I believe. I crack a faint smile. Should still be there, huh? Good thing you didn't go into sales because you wouldn't sell shit. I have some options, I guess. I only used a couple of our safe houses around New York so far. I don't know. Can I catch up with you later or something? I need some time to think. On my own. He looks at me for a long while, tilting his head hesitantly while his spidery fingers slowly spin his dice ring. And then he just stops and nods, curtly. Take your time. I'll wait for you until dawn. I chuckle disbelievingly, unable to keep just a little bit of bitterness creeping into my voice. What if I skip town or something, taking advantage of your misguided generosity? I don't think you will. You haven't thus far, have you? He stands, looking down at me intently. I still believe we can turn this Titanic around before it crashes into the iceberg. We just need to get a hold of the steering wheel. He gives my shoulder a reassuring pat and strides off into the night, leaving me to my ruminations. Nice. Well, I think I'm going to end it there for now. This is enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed this, as usual. If you thought this was an interesting playthrough, just give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Will help support the channel the best way possible. Right? Thank you all for your time, and have a good evening.